3 months after Sudan's military leaders and the country's main pro-democracy group struck a deal set to organize a gradual transfer of power to civilians, they have reached a timeline. The finalized political settlement will be inked on April 11 this year, while institutions of the transitional authority will be formed on the same day. However, major political players, from former rebel leaders to grassroots pro-democracy networks, remain opposed to the deal, despite internationally brokered efforts to draw them in. Here's a report from Khartoum.
The leader of a powerful paramilitary force in Sudan has put himself at the forefront of a planned transition toward democracy. This has unsettled fellow military rulers and has triggered a mobilization of troops in the capital, Khartoum. General Mohammed Hamdan Dagalo commands tens of thousands of fighters in the paramilitary rapid support forces. He has amassed considerable mineral wealth. He is also deputy leader of Sudan's ruling council, which took power in a coup more than a year ago. Recently, Dagalo, widely known as Hemedti, has pulled away from military colleagues and found common ground with a civilian political alliance, in a move that could establish him as a major figure even after the democratic transition.
I say to you, remove your hands from sedition in the military institutions and among Sudanese society, and give the chance to the people to enjoy a stable political transition and to choose at the end of it who will rule them without fraud and forgery.
Concerned about his intentions, the army, under ruling council leader Abdel Fattah al-Burhan, stationed more soldiers in the capital on a state of alert. While tensions have since eased, Hemedti's underlying differences with the army have not been resolved, and the risk of confrontation remains. This could send Sudan, which sits on a volatile region between the Sahel and the Horn of Africa, into deepening instability.
Every person should take their rights. If any person does not take their right, we will not advance. Dishonesty will not make us advance. We should move forward properly.
Sudan's military leader and pro-democracy forces vowed to begin establishing a new civilian-led transitional government on April 11th. Sudan has been plunged into chaos after a military coup led by the country's top general Abdel Fattah Burhan removed a Western-backed government in October 2021, upending its short-lived transition to democracy. The takeover came more than 2 years after a popular uprising forced the removal of Omar al-Bashir and his Islamist government in April 2019.
We affirm to our people our firm commitment to the transition to democracy and holding elections in due time in 2023. And we renew our firm commitment to achieve the revolution's goals represented by freedom, peace and justice.
Since December, progress and consensus building have been slow. Major political players, from former rebel leaders to grassroots pro-democracy networks, remain opposed to the deal, despite numerous internationally brokered efforts to draw them in. A restoration of Sudan's democratic transition would likely see a new wave of cash flood the African country. Since the coup, international aid has dried up and food and fuel shortages, caused in part by the war in Ukraine, have become routine, plunging Sudan's already inflation-riddled economy into further turmoil. Bureau Report, WION The World.